Welcome back. You're still watching Politics HQ on News Central Television. Now, a news outlet, Sahara Reporters, reports that Nigeria's secret police, the DSS, had instructed airport security and immigration authorities to intercept and detain Mr. Omoyele Sowore upon his arrival in Nigeria. A Department of State Services memo that was actually made available ordered the arrest of the convener of the #RevolutionNow movement. Omoyele Sowore has been exclusively obtained. Of course, this report, having been exclusively obtained by Sahara Reporters, learnt that the directive issued by the newly appointed DSS Director General, Peter Ajayi, stems from Sowore's role in the recent 10-day End Bad Governance protest. Now, to discuss this, I am joined by Adeyeye. Femi is the National Publicity Secretary of the AAC. Mr. Adeyeye, thank you for your time.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
All right. Now, I would like you just to take us through this report or this document that was made available to Sahara Reporters, and I believe that you are pretty much privy of, and the context of it.
Yes. So there's nothing much to say about it. It's just part of the tyrannical move of the APC government, presently led by Tinubu. And as you could see on that leaked memo, the status of our presidential candidate and the national leader of our party, the African Action Congress, was upgraded to a status that he should be picked immediately he lands in any airports in Nigeria, and then escorted by operatives of the Department of State Services. We consider that very tyrannical, but we are not surprised. These things only happen when dictators have lost, control of their sanity, and that is what you've seen with that leaked memo. We are tilting towards total state capture. And Nigerians at this time should not sit back and watch these things happen. The president, ever since, has looked away from the demands of the protests. And the only thing he's looking towards is the people who are actually protesting, which are Nigerians, and to make sure that he suffers them the more. Nigeria today, no one can feed 3 square meals. Every demand, everything we listed in the End Bad Governance protest demands, none of it has been acceded to. None of the demands have actually been even discussed. So to the point that protesters are languishing in prison, over 2,000 of them. You have journalists, you have whistleblowers abducted, by the state agents. So all these are just a cocktail of all the tyrannical moves of this particular state captor called Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
All right. I mean, you use the word state capture. For the security, forces too, we also understand that some of the protesters or some of those that were involved in the protest have been arrested, about 10 of them, Michael Lenin being one of them, and they are being charged, with treason. I mean, really strong offense there. I would like you to speak on this, the fact that these individuals came out to protest, and a number of them have been picked up and they are being charged for treason. The government accusing some of the protesters of trying to upturn the current administration.
Thank you for the question, but what is more funny is actually how it was even included in the charge. And they stated it clearly that these persons were trying to overthrow government by raising placards and banners. It sounds very, I don't even know how best to describe it now. I'm trying to use milder words on your TV, the station, so that I don't go overboard. But it shows that they are not serious. You're accusing persons who came out to protest hunger, people who do not have even 5,000 naira in their accounts. You're accusing them of financing terrorism. While we have terrorists dancing on TikTok, you have Bello Toji doing his own thing. You have bandits, spraying money on social media. But people who are protesting that insecurity is already on the eyesight, do something about it. People who are saying we are hungry, address the inflation. People are saying the subsidy must be returned, corruption-free subsidy regime. You are going after them, charging them with treason, that they are planning to overthrow the government. It shows that this government is a very funny one. These are just a bunch of jokers. And as we've seen in the past, all these charges will fall flat. The only problem we are having is that it is the timing. We want those charges to fall flat as soon as this minute, because what this government has shown to Nigerians is total disregard to human rights, and it will stop at nothing to continue to abuse and violate those rights. I said something about state capture that you mentioned, and I would reiterate. Let me take you through a rundown of what state capture actually means. Whenever you see people going after dissenting voices like as you have it this way, and they continue to build some kind of regime security around themselves, it is because they are not ready to provide governance for the Nigerian people. Every person in the security apparatus today that have been sacked or have been forced to resign are people who would not go lower with the Tinubus tyranny. The NIA director, was forced to resign. The DSS DG, was retired, quote unquote. The DSS spokesperson left. And so every other person you have now in the security are those who are ready, to go lower with the Tinubus tyranny. I keep, mentioning both names because it's actually the same thing. So that is what state capture is about. It is a total capture of the states, a total capture of the institutions, all the institutions that should stand for, for the rights of Nigerians. Those who are ready to go lower would even get promotion. Just the same way you have the FCT Commissioner of Police, he has been promoted. The IG of Police, his tenure has been extended, even, unconstitutionally. The act that amended the tenure of the IG was read, was passed, everything under 20 minutes. All these are pointing to the fact that we are in a very serious state of human rights violation in Nigeria, and this is not a time for Nigerians to sit back and watch.
Okay, now let's look at some of the policies of the current administrations that we have at the moment in the country. The fact that the administration has said, even though these are bold policies and the impact is severe, Nigerians should please persevere and for these policies to materialize. Part of those policies has to do with the removal of subsidy on the petrol, which you said should be returned. I remember News Central had an exclusive with Peter Obi, the Labour Party presidential candidate. And this question came up, and he said he would also have removed subsidy, but with a different approach. For those that might want to see that interview, you can go to our YouTube page, News Central TV. You'll see the extended interview there. He said subsidy, he would have removed it, but maybe with a different approach. Now you're saying it should be restored. The administration, the current one, said it was a hotbed for corruption. And then other policies, the value of the naira trying to regularize and all of that. I would like you to speak on these policies, particularly in the aspect of if you feel it's heading Nigeria and Nigerians in a direction with a promising end.
You see, we do not have to belabor all of these issues, and that is why I'm speaking very plainly. I'm not going to add any grammar or any vocabulary to it. The facts speak for itself. Presently in Nigeria, the hardship has gone from 0 to 1,000. And it is because of all these neoliberal policies. And that is why we are different at the African Action Congress. And you see, what Peter Obi said, what the present government is saying, they are saying the same thing. And that is why we keep telling Nigerians that AAC is the only opposition in Nigeria because of our policies. What we are saying is this: remove the corruption in the subsidy. Not the subsidy itself. Everywhere in the world, even in America, which is the bastion of capitalism, subsidy is still present in the energy sector. There is no place in the world where government, because government actually exists to provide welfare and security for citizens. There is nowhere where citizens are not subsidized. So what we are saying is that remove the corruption that is in subsidy. For the fact that people are stealing money in Nigeria today, does that mean that we should stop spending money? It's illogical. So remove the corruption that is there. In this country, we've seen reports of people who imported, who claimed that they imported fuel, but what was actually in the tank was water. You can Google this thing I'm talking about. Yet, the government was forced to pay subsidy on that. You should go after that. The people who are doing bunkering, who are stealing crude, who are doing all of these things, you go after them. You look at the figures. Even the customs claim that we are not using up to 60 million liters, that was put forward, I think, by the NNPC, that we are not using 60 million liters, that there is no way Nigerians are consuming 60 million liters per day. Those are the issues. You go after that. You do not, shut down the littlest of things that Nigerians are actually benefiting from, which is this little subsidy. Because immediately you take it out, you affect the small business. Small businesses are what run any economy anywhere in the world. Small businesses. Today, the average barber on the streets cannot buy fuel for 1,500. Cannot power their generators, the hairdresser cannot, and you are saying you are running an economy. So all these ideas that the likes of Peter Obi, Tinubu, Atiku are pushing are actually neoliberal policies that are ordered by the Bretton Woods institutions, the IMF and the World Bank, who will just sit somewhere, order you, tell you to go and do this about, on your people, defund social services. And after some years, they would come back to tell you that, oh, you did not, those policies did not work well. There's a report to that the IMF alluded to the fact that some of those policies, in fact, all of their policies, all the ideas that they've pushed to Nigerians, that they've sold to our leaders, quote and unquote, did not work. And to find some excuse, they said they did not implement it properly. What we are saying at the African Action Congress as regards fuel subsidy is that we will not remove this subsidy. In fact, Nigerians should get subsidy in so many aspects of their lives. In education, this same president promised everybody and said, immediately this fuel subsidy is removed, the funds that will save from it will be put in education. But almost immediately he removed subsidy. He also removed that of education. I have worked in that sphere for over these years, and I can tell you for a fact that Nigerian students are dropping out in droves. Immediately, a place like the University of Lagos, the fee was increased from 21,000 naira to over 250,000 naira as school fees. So that's to show you that this is a
Mr. Adeyeye, we are pressed for time.
A regime of lies and a regime of irresponsibility.
I'm sorry to interrupt your line of thought, but we are pressed for time and we need to go. Now that, you are privy to the fact that Mr. Omoyele Sowore is on the wanted list, should he step into the country? What next for Mr. Sowore?
You see, for us, we would not run away from cowards. These are cowards. These are, we know them. And Omoyele Sowore is not the first time he has been on their watch list. But when injustice becomes the norm in any society, our own duty is to resist it. And as I know already, Sowore would arrive in this country and he won't run away.
So you are saying he will still come back home irregardless?
Yes, very soon, very soon. In fact, I'm extending this invitation to New Central. You should get ready, set your cameras, and anytime from now, you should come to the airport to welcome him, to actually tape everything. Sowore will not run away, unlike Tinubu who ran away in 1994, when Abacha was, after him, the military, and then he came back and tell you that, oh, he's a hero of democracy, that he never, went anywhere. He has always been with the Nigerian people. That's all lies. During NSAS, he ran away. He's always missing in action. Tinubu is always missing in action. He came back and said, oh, he did not go anywhere. That was after they killed people at Lekki Toll Gate to say, oh, the Jagaban of Lagos did not go anywhere. It's a lie. He ran to France. As of today, he's running from one place to another while the country is burning. There are issues of flood in Borno. There are issues of, hardship, fuel scarcity, the fuel hike.
All right, Mr. Adeyeye.
These are issues, but this man is missing in action always. So unlike this unpatriotic person that you have as president, Sowore would not run. This is our country, and what we must do at this time is that the good people should stop hiding. That is the problem.
All right, Mr. Adeyeye, I'm afraid we really need to go.
Continues to thrive because the good people are hiding from exercising their rights. That should not be allowed. And that is why on this particular day that Sowore will be arriving at the airport, we will be there to resist the illegality that is about to happen. And we call on...
Mr. Adeyeye, are you there? Oh, we lost connection there with Mr. Adeyeye, but thank you so much for your time. This, of course, is what time will permit us. Mr. Adeyeye is actually the National Publicity Secretary of the AAC, and he has been talking on particular leaked information that they have that Mr. Sowore has been placed on watch list and might be picked up should he step into the country. But that's the beat we can take at this time. In case you missed out, you can actually catch up on our YouTube platform. That's News Central TV. You can also choose to follow us across social media. The same name, News Central Television. You can follow me personally at Dakpo at Digboye. The opinion of our guest remains theirs and not that of News Central. Bye for now.